Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of EXTOR JNc, the never-ending tale of Nigel and Bob's endeavours to build a model railway. Well, here we are in the depths of winter. We're all down, or we've all been down with the flu, coughs and colds, and we've all been suffering, but it has allowed a little bit of time to do a bit of work on the railway, which is always good, of course. Good for you. You know, model railway a day keeps the doctor away. Anyway, we've only done a few bits and pieces. It's been quite cold up here, and been doing some work on the goods yard. I'll show you that in a moment. We finally got the rest of the points in on the engine depot. We're just waiting now to get some point motors, and a lottery win would be nice. And in the meantime, since we saw you last, we lost poor old Scamp, my faithful sheepdog companion, and we acquired a new pup, a Scamp 2. Well, in point of fact, it's a she, it's a Pippa. There we're Pip. Say hello. This is Pippa, training her up to be a model maker. There you go. So right, let's take a look round at a few of the bits and pieces we've done, and hope you enjoy it. Been doing some work on the goods yard. As you can see, we've got the main goods yard plastered and a basic colour put in now, and we're starting to get the coal roads in. I know there's a bit of controversy at the moment over whether there are coal staves or not. Well, I remember coal staves and stations going way back when I was a kid, so I'm having coal staves. And just let North Star run by. One nice little wagon wife bought for me a little while ago. I think it was a limited edition. It's from Batman and Butler and Co of Henley-on-Thames. Well, for those of you who have been to Pendon Museum at Long Whittingham in Oxfordshire, the Pendon, you will know that on their Dartmoor layout they've actually got a wagon on the long freight train that runs around, and that's exactly the same. This was taken from it, Butler and Co Henley-on-Thames. The main difference being that theirs has actually got coal from the real coal yard of Butler and Co of Henley-on-Thames. Back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I spent a number of years as an operator on Dartmoor at Pendon. So I had a great privilege to get to know Roy England, who ran the museum very well. But when that came out, I just had to have one of those. I thought that was fantastic. So that's got a permanent home on the layout. Postman bought a little, well, not surprise, but little parcel for me yesterday, and one of the new 6-wheel Great Western brake vans from Oxford Rail, and we contacted those nice people at Rails of Sheffield, and within a few hours it came through the door. And I'll tell you what, you know, we've sort of been used to Bachmann and Hornby and all the rest of it, but Oxford really are coming on. I know they've been sort of making some really nice road vehicles for a long time. So let's have a closer look at it. We'll unbox it. So if Mr. Cameraman, Mr. Nigel, can zoom in a little bit. Quite a smart looking box as well. I love the Union Jack. The bulldog symbol. I say it's not bulldog, it's a man on it. Anyway, let's have a look at it. I think the railway authorities will mind me clutching up the goods yard floor with my packaging. Yeah, some nice detail on there. The handrails are very nice. I mean, there have been many models of Great Western brake vans around for a long time, but for the first time, I think, in Ready to Run, we've actually got a 6-wheel Great Western towed, and it's beautiful. If you can see on there, all the separate lamp irons on the ends and on the sides. Very delicate. Whether to take anything, I don't know. The underframe's very nice as well, very nicely detailed with the steps. Sprung buffers would have been nice, but what can you expect for 12 quid? And that's the Wolverhampton version. They do it in about half a dozen versions, and they include it in with Great Western on. This is in obviously BR Western, because that's the time period we run. But I think you agree, even the sandbox is inside. I think you agree that's a lovely little model. Let's see if it runs. And we thought we'd test the new brake on our freight, and what better for the front, of course, than a Great Western 2800, same as they use at Pendon, except theirs is the Great Western, of course, and this is BR. Did anyone buy one of these noisy things? I mean, I'm not referring to the Lima 47, I'm referring to the Daypole cleaning car. I don't know, we use it, but I'm not convinced that it's that wonderful. It doesn't do that good a job. I think there are some far better ones out there now. And it's also extremely expensive. Be interested in hearing your views on this one. Just wanted to mention this while we're at it. Found this company called Petite Properties up at the Ali Pali exhibition in London last time, and they make these smashing little die-cut kits. I think you agree that's a lovely little cottage, and they're for a very, very small amount of money. Well worth looking at. So I really recommend them. They're lovely. Part of the little village scene here. I always think it nicer if the platform lights are not a 12-volt bulbs, but if they're wired in pairs, it brings the brilliance down to more of a glow, and it's much more realistic. The evening comes on over the station and it settles down for the evening. I think you agree that looks quite nice. As dust starts to fall over EXTOR Junction, the lights come on and the shopkeepers are locked up for the day. Light on in the loft of the model shop, of course. No doubt the station is doing a roaring trade, but more importantly next door, the chip shop is open for business. even down on the branch. It's all gone quiet for the evening. The last branch passenger has run back to the main. No doubt the signalman's down the local having a swift pint. Elsewhere on the main line, out at EXTOR. It's had a quiet period in between, no doubt another express either heading for London or down to the West Country. Being an ex-signalman myself many years ago, the signalman's probably got a card game going, or he's cutting somebody's hair in the signal box. Well, that's about it for another one. So at the end of the day, the last light engine comes round, passes through EXTOR, and the red tail lights disappear into the distance. We say good night everybody, till the next time.